Good. So hands resting easily on Dantian, the center. Center of energy, or one major energy center in the body. Again, just as a reminder, it's a center of gravity too in the body. It's a major balancing place. The base of the spine. So it's not the middle between the bottoms of the feet and the tops of the head. It's not the midpoint, but it is our center of balance right here. And you can feel that. You can feel that with the hands here, the shifting your weight a little. This is a secure, supported central place. So as we stand and touch into that, feeling how the energy of the chi is already moving differently in the body. This is home base. So at any point during the practice, anything we do that's hard to do, or if it ever feels painful, please don't continue doing it. Nothing should hurt in this practice. You might feel a little stretching on a couple moves. There might be a little bit of stiffness or achiness, but if you get serious pain, don't do the move. And you can always come back to home base. So we're breathing in and breathing out. And as we breathe in and out, it's as though each breath is polishing the little pearl of energy in center. Feeling the rise and the fall in your abdomen, under your hands, and just beginning to tune into this flowing wave-like activity that we're about to begin. And so letting the hands just come to rest at your sides. And as you're ready, we'll begin raising the chi. Hands come to about shoulder height on the in-breath, and on the exhale coming down. So we're breathing in and out. Rising and falling and sinking in, maybe bending the knees just a little bit as you breathe out and lower the hands. This move, I always think of it as raising the chi. It's a great opening move. It's also been called mist rising off the lake, which is a lovely image and keeps it light. Something we want to always be doing, very light. And I've seen this called raising and lowering the arms by the water. That's probably the most literal translation, but you could simply think of it as raising the chi at the beginning of the practice too. Good. This moves right into opening the heart to what is. We're exhaling as we bring the palms toward each other and then back down toward the earth. We're inhaling as we're opening. This move is also called standing on top of a mountain. Nice loose arms, open joints. That's why we did all that warm up. So no stiff arms. Keep them light and flowing. Then on our next inhalation, we're going to bring the hands up overhead. Exhale as you curve over to the side. Inhale back to center. Exhale over to the other side. We're swinging the rainbow. We're making this arc. Maintaining a connection to Dantian, to center. So as you're breathing out, letting it begin in the pelvis. So that arc begins way at the bottom and then the top hand here follows. As you're curving to the side, connecting with awareness from the edge of the foot all the way up to the fingertips, feeling that curve from the ground up. Good, we'll come back to inhale back to center and exhale over into a squat, cross at the wrists. Inhale the hands up, then palms towards the sky as we part the clouds. So we're breathing out as we come over. We're breathing in as we're lifting. And then exhale. As you come over, it's the legs that are bending that bring you closer to the ground. Be careful not to just drop your upper body forward, but it's the legs that raise and lower us. One more, we'll breathe out, part the clouds, come on over. Inhale, bring the hands up. Exhaling, and then we'll pause here in the T and begin this spiraling movement called floating silk through the air. So this image of floating silk, you can use it in a couple different ways. I think most of the time, and for many years, I was thinking of or imaging a long length, several yards of silk between my hands. But as I probably have mentioned in other classes, recently I have started to feel that it's more helpful to think of my arms themselves as that silk, that light, flowy silk. So I'm not really pushing or pulling with my hands and arms. I'm really just spiraling from center, right? Just like we did in the warm-up, only slower. Breathing with this one is a little personal. You get to decide, as long as you're choosing and connecting somehow, breathing out and then in, out, in, but that's how I'm doing it. So you can decide when to inhale and when to exhale. And we're just trying to, with each of these moves, match the pace of the movement with the pace of our breathing. Good, so let's come back to center. We're going to exhale kind of forward and then inhale the hands up overhead. Exhale the palms down again into a little bit as though you're going to sit down. It's called rowing across the big lake. So imagine you're in a rowboat. And again, it might be easier to see from the side. So we don't want to be doing, we're not curling forward. We're really staying right on top of ourselves and just, again, letting the legs be the thing that move you up and down. Full breath. Good. Let's do a couple more. Inhale. Good. On your next inhalation, we'll sweep a hand across and lift. And then exhale the palm back down. It comes in front of the body. Switch hands and repeat on the other side. So this is raising the sun. And the heel and the hand lift, and then come back down on the out breath. And you'll notice that the hand that's not raising is sort of hovering right in front of Dantian, right in front of center. So right at about here where they switch, they're meeting right at home base, right here. And then, oh, we'll go the other way. Wonderful. And then you can just easily move right into gazing at the moon. Same basic move. We're inhaling, we're using both hands. Again, like you've got something between them. See if you can feel anything between the palms of your hands as you're moving. And the feet stay planted for this, so we're not lifting the heel. That's the only other difference. Taking your time. Enjoying the ability to breathe, move, and know that you're moving and breathing. You're right there with it. Good. Last one. Breathing in, gazing at the moon, breathing out. Coming again back to center. Inhale, bring one palm back. Then we're going to exhale and push out a little to the side. Turn, grab. Inhale, bring your hand back. This is gathering lotus leaves. Breathing out. Breathing in. You might be reaching out for that thing you need most right now. Patience. Safe. Chocolate. Who knows what you need? You can name your own. Can it be light and easy, the little fists that you're making? What you're gathering, if it's lotus leaves, it's something delicate. So treat it lightly. Let's do one more to each side. Pushing out, bringing home. Breathing out and breathing in. Hand up in front of eyes, and we'll exhale as we spiral over. Let that hand drop. We'll inhale the next hand up, spiral over to the other side. Let that hand drop. This is waving at clouds. So I'm sort of exhaling as the cloud falls and inhaling as I bring the next hand cloud up. But like floating silk, you may find it easier to breathe in a different way. So really play with it, experiment, make it yours. As long as it's intentional, and whatever seems easiest and most organic. So this is the least amount of work. It's something I love about this form. It's enough to just follow it. Good, let's come back to center. We're going to go down to the ocean now for scooping the ocean, looking at the sky. So we'll inhale, and then on an exhale, step forward, lunging, making the scooping motion. Then we're going to lean back on the back foot, lifted, look at the sky. So Lunging forward on the exhale, scoop it up, lean back, look at the sky. This is a really obvious move that harmonizes the energy of the earth below with the energy of the heavens above. All the moves do that. This one feels a little more literal. Good. Be careful on the lunge. Don't let your knee go too far past your toes. And you can bring that front foot back. You'll inhale. Once again, step forward and scoop. As you shift your weight forward, it begins with pushing off your back foot. And like the other squats, it's really the legs that are moving you back and forth. And some details on this one, as you lunge forward, the back heel lifts. As you lean back, the toes on the front foot lift. One more on this side, breathing in, scoop it up, look at the sky, and as you exhale, you can bring that front foot back. We're going to do the exact same thing with the legs on the next move. We'll inhale the hands forward like this, and then as we breathe out again, lunging forward and this time pushing. Breathing in as you lean back, breathing out as you come out. So the arms are kind of making a circuit, pushing forward, dropping down, coming back. Legs shifting forward and back. Playing with this shift of weight from the back leg to the front leg. Good. On your next inhalation, bring that front foot back. We'll step out and repeat on the other side. The variation on this is to angle your leg out to the side and push in a kind of at about the 45-degree angle, I guess, like what we had for lotus leaves. This, as you'll notice, feels different than going straight forward. There's a different energy. So you can play with it, see what feels best. Some days I do one, some days I do the other. Good. On your next inhalation, front foot comes back. Next one is similar with the legs, but we won't lift heels and toes. Inhale, step forward. On the exhale, we're going to make this little circle with the arms. Flying dove spreads its wings. So we're still lunging forward on the out breath and leaning back on the in breath. The arms are kind of imitating what the lungs are doing, right? So we're taking in what we need and we're expanding out, we're releasing what we don't need. Bring the front foot back, step out, and repeat on the other side. One more. Flying dove spreads its wings. Good. We're going to make soft, loose fists right at about hip height. extend as you breathe out, turn, inhale as you bring it back. Dragon emerging from the sea. A deceptively simple move. See if you can simply extend straight out, turn, and come back without adding anything extra. No twists, no tightening, no dropping the head forward, no tightening the jaw, or simply doing a very slow motion punch. These are these sort of echoes of Tai Chi. This is why Shibashi Qigong, or the 18 harmonizing movements, are sometimes called Tai Chi Qigong, which could not be more confusing to people, so I never call it that, but there are the push hands, and some of the moves that we've been doing and that we do are found in Tai Chi as well. Good, and one more, whatever side you're on, that'll be the last side. Let's widen the stance just a little bit for Flying Wild Goose. So we're gonna breathe in, come up on the toes, let the backs of the hands touch, and then exhale as we come down. One more. Good. On your next inhalation, we'll just sweep the hands up one side of a circle, and on the exhale, palms come down the other side. This is the windmill. So we're exhaling and inhaling. Again, keeping in mind the loose joints of the arms. So not stiff. We can extend our arms without locking the elbows or adding too much extra tension. Let's go the other way. Still exhaling as we move from heaven to earth, and inhaling as we come up from earth to heaven. This is another very literal, and can feel how the energy moves from above to below and below to above. We're really unifying and harmonizing this. Good, let the arms come to your sides. Find a little stability back home. We'll just pause for a minute. And this is week 6. And this is the week where we kind of break down the last 2 moves, which is walking through the tall grass and gathering the fragrance of the earth. So 17 and 18. And so as I go through it, I'm just gonna kind of break it down, a couple of pointers to notice as we're moving through it. And when we get, as we're going, if you have questions about either of the moves, feel free to ask. Just unmute yourself and ask. So walking through the tall grass is, we're inhaling, lifting one hand to about shoulder height and the foot as high as you'd like. Then on the exhale, it comes down. So a couple of challenges on this one, which is a real balancing move. You may find it helpful to anchor your gaze on the wall opposite you, or a place on the floor, maybe 6 to 10 feet on the floor out in front of you, if anchoring your gaze helps you. And as you're lifting your foot, you might be aware or put some awareness on the standing leg. So even as your rising foot comes up, letting the weight go even more, feeling that connection down. Right? So things are lifting, but other things are going back down into the ground. And there's this exchange. Let the arm float up. That's the other thing with this one, and probably all of them, if you can, think about your arm being lifted by the chi. Not so much that you're lifting your arm, but that there's a force bringing it up. You also can think, as you're bringing your hand and your foot up, about rising up to the top of your head, not pulling up or tensing up, but that there's chi going all the way up. In fact, probably enhanced chi, because this is coming towards the end of the form. So your chi is probably pretty strong coming out the top of your head toward the heavens. So let's just do one more on each side. Good. And then the final move, gathering the fragrance of the earth, is we're going to exhale, squat down, inhale as though we're scooping up something very wonderful smelling, bringing it up the front side of the body, then flipping the hands and exhaling back to center. So this one, there's actually two ways to breathe, and I'll show you both. So it can be kind of hard because traditionally it's we're exhaling, we come out of that, and then we have to come down and find a big inhale. So it might be easier as you finish, exhale, to breathe in, breathe out, then begin. So in the transition from walking through the tall grass to here, if you feel like you're running out of breath, you can do this final move on 2 breaths. So I've just finished exhaling. I'm going to inhale, exhale, come over, inhale, exhale. Again, I'm doing a full inhale and then breathing out as I squat down and then beginning an inhale, which is easier in many ways than ending an exhale here. And it's hard to breathe in as you're squatting down. So you can play. It's not, I mean, you get used to it, but it's completely up to you if you want to add that little extra inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So it's fine. So see what feels best for you. And then the other important aspect of this last move, which is one of the complicated ones. There's a couple complicated ones. Most of them are simple. There's a lot going on in this final move. The other thing we're instructed to pay attention to is as we're bringing our hands up the front side of the body, we're meant to sense or envision energy coming up the back side of the body, coming up overhead, and then as we're about ready to flip the hands here, that's where it meets, and then we bring it all back home. So we're actually thinking of an energy circuit that comes up the back, overhead, and all the way down again. Even though our hands are doing this. So where the mind is, that's where the chi will be, as my teacher Franz Merkel likes to say. So just, if you can, once you get comfortable with the rhythm of this move, begin to add in awareness of your backside, whatever's behind you, and see if you can picture the energy coming up and overhead. One more. And then we end as we began, with hands resting easily right over center.